What we're guarding against here is making our dispatcher a scapegoat by those who have disregarded the manpower shortages.
If he's found guilty of procedural violations, Havana could lose his job. Safety Director Carolyn Watts-Allen has received a stack of statements regarding this incident. Another hearing is scheduled for next week, and then she is expected to make her ruling.
An Olmsted Falls man who police say confessed to raping a girl had a different plea in court today. 38-year-old Glenn Talbot is charged with 5 counts of rape and 5 counts of gross sexual imposition involving a girl now 12 years old who he babysat. The girl was 6 when the sexual assaults reportedly began in 1982. They allegedly continued until 1986. Talbot appeared in a Cleveland courtroom today for arraignment. He pleaded not guilty and bond was set at $25,000. Talbot was a 6-year volunteer at NASA Lewis's Little Folks Daycare Center in Cleveland. NASA officials say they are unaware of any incidents at the daycare center.
Tonight, 3 Cleveland School Board members are questioning the district's recently approved budget and heavily criticizing the administration. The critics include Stanley Tolliver, Mildred Madison, and Lawrence Lumpkin. They claim the new budget was okayed under misleading information presented by the administration. They also say projected deficits ranging anywhere from $6 to $41 million were wiped out by the new budget, which was balanced. But Mildred Madison says what worries her is the impact of all the cost cutting.
You're talking about personnel, which is very key to recruitment of teachers and such, and you're going to take that department and make that a division. Those are very key to the remedial order. We're trying to get out from under, we're trying to comply so that we can get out from under the order. And we know that we cannot if we dismantle what we already have in that system.
Those 3 board members say they are now in the process of making a thorough review of the superintendent's recommendations. They say action will be taken on issues like improving the district's educational programs, lowering the dropout rate, and several avenues to help increase attendance.
Just one day after Ohio Congressman Donald Pease announced he will not seek another term, political organizers in the 4-county 13th Congressional District are making a list of possible candidates and checking it twice.
And as Marianne Herman reports, a Republican elected in the heavily Democratic district is not out of the question.
1/2 of the 13th Congressional District's population is in Lorain County, more than 2 to 1 Democratic. Even with redistricting taking a bite here and a nibble there, Lorain County's Democratic Party is confident of keeping a Democrat on Capitol Hill. Yesterday, Democratic Congressman Donald Pease said he won't run in '92. And Democratic Party Chairman George Curry calls it a good opportunity to get another Democrat elected to Congress. But Republicans say don't be too sure. County Republican Chairman Bob Russo says a Republican could take the 13th.
Everything's possible. And it all depends on just where our district goes. You know, to the west of us, we have a Republican congressman. To the east, we have a Democratic congressman. It depends on which way the redistricting is going to put the 13th.
And Russo says in '92, there's always the coattails of President Bush that Republicans can ride.
Oh, that's definitely going to help, sure. A congressional Republican candidate giving the popularity of Bush at this time, and he just had a press conference today, so and he didn't declare himself as a candidate yet. So, but given his popularity, sure, there could be a coattail effect.
The Republican frontrunner? Russo says it's Elyria businessman Bill Nielsen, who ran against Congressman Pease last year, did well, and Russo says Nielsen can do even better this presidential election year.
While the Republican Party already seems to know who its front runner to go for that 13th congressional seat is, Democrats, on the other hand, who have quite a few possible candidates, say it's way too early to call anyone leader of the pack.
State Senator Alan Zaleski, a Democrat from Vermilion, reportedly says he's in the race, and at least 6 others are taking a good look at the starting gate. In Lorain County, Marianne Herman reporting for the 10 o'clock news.
There's more ahead on the 10 o'clock news. Coming up, the president says things are getting better, but are they? We'll take a look at the nation's unemployment figures.
We'll also have an update on the situation in Haiti. And did any Northeast Ohio lawmakers bounce any of those Capitol Hill checks? We'll hear from Congressman Stokes when we come back.
Beautify your home at the Kitchen, Bath, and Home Beautification Expo at the IX Center. You'll discover miles of decorating and home improvement ideas for your entire home. You'll be enchanted by our 8 celebrity rooms, each decorated by expert designers. Furniture, accessories, wall and floor coverings, appliances, windows, baths, and yes, even the kitchen sink. Your home can become your dream home when you come to the Kitchen, Bath, and Home Beautification Expo, October 10th through the 13th at the IX Center.
Take the Olive Garden pasta tour of Italy this fall. An exciting journey through delicious new pasta dishes from all over Italy. Visit Florence and enjoy tempting pasta Florentine. See Venice and delight in luscious shrimp Veronese. And in Palermo, take in delectable chicken and sausage pepperonata. Make your plans now for the Olive Garden pasta tour of Italy. But move fast. A tour this affordable won't last forever.
On page 9, you'll find the fantastic colored rock cliffs that rim the home of Hiawatha. On page 32, there's a 130-year-old inn named for the U.S. president who frequently stayed there. And almost as refreshing as the fall air is the cider from the cider mills that dot the countryside. Where will you find all these places? In the Michigan Fall Secrets Guide. Pages of interesting things to see and do in our state. Call 1-800-5432-YES for your free copy.
A savage kidnapping.
You're holding our captain. I want him released.
And Picard is forced to play a dangerous game of survival.
No!
Now there is only one way to bring him back alive.
It's going to take me at least a full day to do it.
Captain Picard could be dead by then.
And it could lead to a full-scale war.
Stand by to fire, Mr. Worf. We cannot survive another hit.
Deadly encounter on an all-new episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Saturday night from 6 to 8 on Channel 43.
Tonight's 10 o'clock news is brought to you by Trans-Ohio Savings Bank, what banking should be.
There is mounting pressure on Haiti's military leaders to restore President Jean-Bertrand Aristide to power. Diplomats from the United States and 8 other nations flew to Haiti today to put pressure on coup leaders. Aristide, who was ousted from power during a military coup this week, met with President Bush today. Bush says he is committed to helping Aristide get back in power, but he declined to say whether that might require military force.
We are convinced that democracy should prevail in Haiti. The discussion here is about the restoration of a democratically elected government. And that's, the United States is joining most of the rest of the world in calling for the restoration of a democratically elected leader.
President Bush called the coup a setback to democracy, but said we have to be very careful about using military forces in this hemisphere. Well, in the Gulf tonight, just how close was Iraq to having nuclear weapons capabilities? UN inspectors believe that in less than 2 years, Saddam Hussein's military could have begun production of material to be used for atomic bombs. Today in Vienna, UN Inspector David Kay told reporters that Iraq had an impressive nuclear weapons program. And he says his team discovered documents indicating Iraq has already tested a surface-to-surface missile that could deliver a nuclear warhead. Obtaining those documents was no small feat for the inspectors. They were detained in Baghdad for more than 4 days before Iraq allowed them to leave with the documents.
As public pressure continues to build over reports of congressional check bouncing, House members have voted to conduct an investigation of their own by the House Ethics Committee. Representative Louis Stokes, named by the Washington Post as one of the more notable check bouncers, will lead the investigation. Today, he denied any wrongdoing, saying the investigation will clear up what is essentially a misunderstanding of Congress's in-house banking system.
There was nothing illegal, nothing unethical, and nothing immoral. But it was a practice which gives the appearance that members of Congress were given a process which could be abused, which is not given to the average citizen.
That Ethics Committee investigation will reportedly key in on individuals who blatantly abuse the in-house banking system. The investigation is slated to begin later next week.
Elsewhere on Capitol Hill, the latest figures on the nation's unemployment rate did little to cheer economists. The rate dipped slightly from last month, but only by 0.1%. The lukewarm signs of economic recovery added fuel to the debate between the president and Congress on how to help the nation's long-term unemployed. And in Washington, as a group of unemployed protesters marched in front of the White House, President Bush promised to veto a democratically sponsored plan to extend jobless benefits. Mr. Bush says the plan is too costly, especially in light of the nation's deficit.
I'm for unemployment benefit extension and doing something about it, and I'm also for protecting all those that aren't working and that are working who pay taxes. And one way you do that is to keep the Democratic Congress from busting the budget agreement.
The president is said to be considering a Republican-sponsored plan for the unemployed, extending benefits for an additional 10 weeks instead of the 26 weeks proposed by the Democrats. Well, coming up, the government unveils the largest anti-smoking campaign in history. We'll have details. And the latest on a growing medical controversy surrounding Pap smears. Should women be allowed to perform the exam themselves? With a test they can use at home.
We'll have those stories and much more when the 10 o'clock news continues.
I'll bet you didn't know your house is made of money. Well, it is. And with a Trans-Ohio home equity loan or line of credit, you'll have money at your fingertips. Money for small projects, money for big projects, money at low interest rates. In fact, the money you get out of your house can be used to add on to your house. And the interest you pay could be completely tax deductible. Make more out of your money at Trans-Ohio.
Perhaps you're losing a little money on annual credit card fees. Perhaps you should use the card that charges no annual fee. And keep your money where it belongs. It pays to discover. When you receive your pre-approved Discover Card application, sign it. Because you can't earn cash back until you get it back. It pays to discover.
You think you have to drive one of these to shop at Quality Farm and Fleet. Wrong. Anyone driving one of these, or these should drive to one of these. From oil and batteries to truck and towing accessories, we've got the right part at the right price.
Right now, Peak Antifreeze is just $3.99 a gallon, and Armstrong Ultra-Track steel-belted all-season radials start at $34.99 each.
So whether your fleet looks like this or like this, to keep it running right, look for this. There's a lot more than farm in Quality Farm and Fleet.
Burger King asks a bunch of cowboys.
I could eat this Bullseye Barbecue Burger till the cows come home.
Get a taste of the Old West with the Bullseye Barbecue Burger from Burger King.
I could cook up something like this. I just don't choose to.
It's 2 flame-broiled burgers on a Western bun with cheese and bacon topped with the big, bold taste of Bullseye Barbecue sauce.
Don't you call this no nouvelle cuisine?
The Bullseye Barbecue Burger from Burger King.
Real cowboys like us know a good sandwich.
What do Lenore Williams, Bob Hetherington, and Charles Thigpen have in common? They've all helped the March of Dimes campaign for healthier babies. You can, too.
Tonight's 10 o'clock news is brought to you in part by True Value Hardware.
Cervical cancer claims the lives of thousands of women each year, but the disease has a high cure rate if detected in time. So should women be allowed to perform Pap smears in the privacy of their own homes? The Food and Drug Administration is debating that question. Pap smears are test screenings for cervical cancer. The National Women's Health Network says the test is simple and would encourage thousands of women to take the exam. But critics say professionals should oversee such an important examination.
There's too much that has to be done just right to get good results. Doctors have found that in research done in hospitals, in clinics, and so forth. There's 10 to 20% of the smears that go to the lab for interpretation are not acceptable.
Women know that they should be going for an annual Pap smear. And except for the women who have cultural problems with going for an examination for something concerning women's problems, the other women are prohibited by access, by finances, by time.
Pearson says, unfortunately, there are thousands of women who never get Pap smears at all and find out only after the cancer has progressed to its more serious stages.
It's an expensive habit, and it kills people. That was the picture being painted earlier today in Washington as the federal government renewed its drive toward a tobacco-free America. Health and Human Services Secretary Dr. Louis Sullivan unveiled the anti-smoking campaign. It's being called ASSIST, standing for American Stop Smoking Intervention Study. It's the most expensive anti-tobacco program in the nation's history. 17 states will receive $115 million through the federally funded program over the next 7 years. Sullivan says he expects an uphill battle.
We launched the ASSIST program with great hope, but we are fully aware of what we are up against. The tobacco industry will do its best to undermine our efforts.
And Sullivan says the program should help lay the foundation of a smoke-free America by the year 2000.
As many as 30 explosions rocked Boston's John F. Kennedy Federal Building today, but tonight officials say the 6-alarm blaze is finally under control. Officials evacuated the 27-story skyscraper shortly after flames began shooting through the roof at about 4 p.m. The building houses the Boston offices of several federal agencies, including the FBI and the IRS. The fire was confined to the upper floors where workers had been removing asbestos. There have been no reports of serious injuries. Well, we'll take a look at the weekend weather picture with Dan Maley next.
Don't go away. Dan is standing by in the wings, and we'll all be right back.
You can do it with True Value.
Their fall shopper circular uncovers value. Like this new Master Mechanic 3/8-inch professional cordless drill and screwdriver with 2 speeds and recharger, just $79.99. And 100% ceramic heating elements offer more heat at lower temperatures. Take home the high-quality Comfort Plus ceramic furnace, just $79.88 in the fall shopper and at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Now get $1,000 cash back on the 1992 Lincoln Town Car.
A treat for antique lovers this weekend. The Papabello Summer Antique Show returns to the Richfield Coliseum Friday through Sunday. Antique shows always have great values in fine furniture and unusual, one-of-a-kind decorative items. And at the Coliseum, you'll find thousands of exciting antiques with more variety than ever. And everything is for sale. Antiques have never been a better value, so come see for yourself. Opens noon daily. That's Papabello Antiques at the Richfield Coliseum this weekend.
Stop and Shop gives you the best value in town with great discounts on The Magic of David Copperfield, coming to the Palace Theater October 5th and 6th. Save $5 on selected children's performances with Stop and Shop discount coupons, good for children 12 and under. So come to your neighborhood Stop and Shop and save $5 on tickets to witness The Magic of David Copperfield. But you better hurry, our David Copperfield discount coupons are disappearing fast.
Well, Dan, I've had a headache all night, and someone walked up and gave me 2 Browns tickets for Sunday's game.
So it's gone.
So that made me feel better. But I was wondering what the weather is going to be like.
Well, the weather on Sunday will knock anybody's headache away.
Great. Sounds good.
You won't be thinking about any headaches on Sunday if you're out because the weather will be changing. And I guess a lot of people are suffering, including myself, a little influenza now and then. The weather's been so up and down, and it's going to continue up and down. But still very summery out there tonight. We'll take a look now and see how things have been going on this kind of topsy-turvy 4th day of the month of October. Looking at the sunset a few hours ago over the southwestern Cleveland sky. We had a high today, very warm, 81 degrees. You can see the normal high, 68 degrees. Our morning low yesterday, or the earliest morning, excuse me, 58 degrees. Normal low will be 48 degrees. We're going to be even above that 58 throughout tonight and early tomorrow. Record high for the date, 88 degrees, 1952 for that, and 33 the record low in 1981. Our sun will rise Saturday morning at 7:28, down again Saturday evening at 7:03. Currently, we're looking at 72 degrees out there. Temperatures holding pretty steady, and will continue to do so throughout much of the night, so we'll slip back perhaps into the mid-60s for the coolest overnight readings. Our humidity high at 68%. The barometer's been falling steadily, pretty low now at 29.85, and those winds really brisk out of the south at 16, going to stay brisk all weekend long, but eventually going around to the west and northwest by Sunday, and that means colder weather. Lake water temperature at 67 degrees. There's a gale warning out there. Not a pleasant place to be, Lake Erie, these days. Winds tonight through tomorrow early will be out of the southwest, then shifting probably late tomorrow morning around to the west. 20 to 35 knots, and waves will be kicking up around 6 to 9 feet. Just a beautiful sight it will be, as long as you're not out there bobbing around on those waves. 72 degrees right now, and we have mostly in the 70s across Ohio, 68 degrees from the Akron-Canton area up toward Youngstown, and 69 down in Marietta, but basically a very unseasonably mild Friday evening going for us across Ohio. Now, this goes back to early this morning. We had those strong thunderstorms coming across the state, especially northern Ohio, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain, I think about 8,200 over the Cleveland-Hopkins Airport for the official Cleveland measurement. And as we went through the afternoon, things cleared out, but then a bright echo once again developed around Ashtabula County. They had some golf ball size hail there late this afternoon, but now things have pretty much cleared out over Ohio. Many areas reporting clear to partly cloudy skies, but peering off to the west here, a bright line of clouds stretching from around, well, the upper portions of Lake Michigan down through the Chicago area and into the western portions of Arkansas, and that is carrying some very strong thunderstorms with it. That is the frontal system that'll be coming through here tomorrow, bringing a very drastic change to our weather for the second part of the weekend. You can see from around Chicago down through western Illinois, down to around St. Louis, very strong thunderstorms moving eastward. They'll be moving into Ohio late tonight, probably into eastern Ohio during the course of tomorrow morning. Probably weakening before they get here, but still some more thunderstorms are in the offing for us. Bright clouds here, big swirl of clouds around the north-central part of the United States, and there's a massive storm system up there. The storm is going to be moving to the north, but eventually dragging this cold front through here, and that cold front coming through around midday tomorrow will mark the end of our more summery type weather and put us back into a cool down beginning tomorrow afternoon, right on through the balance of the weekend, and there may be some snow or sleet in the Ohio skies before the upcoming weekend is out. Right now, though, thunderstorms still with a dying out front down in Florida. They've had a wet week down there. Severe storms along this frontal system, again, hopefully weakening by the time they reach Ohio. To the north, just some rain and then snow. Maybe northwestern Minnesota up into the Dakotas and up into Canada. And again, some snow maybe in the Ohio skies a little bit later on in the weekend. Probably just sleet and certainly melting, if anything at all. Very warm, summery weather in the deep south, 83 in Nashville today, 92 down in San Antonio, but you can see how the cool down occurs as you head to the northwest, and that weather is headed for us. The extremes today across the United States, Palm Springs hit 107, Wisdom, Montana, in the southwestern part of that state, 11 degrees early this morning for the nation's low, and this is the highs for tomorrow. We'll still be in the 60s and 70s, probably falling back through the 60s into the afternoon. Here's that pocket of 40s headed for us, and coming right at our doorstep come Sunday. Here's the forecast for you then. Breezy and mild tonight, maybe a shower late tonight, but basically a dry night for us with generally fair skies up there right now. Overnight lows hanging in the 60s and a south wind of 15 to 25. Tomorrow looks like another breezy, mild day, showers and thunderstorms as that front comes through. Best chance late morning, early afternoon for those. A windy, mild day, high around 70 early in the day, then dropping back into the 60s in the afternoon. And we could be flirting with temperatures mostly in the 40s there on Sunday. A breezy, colder day, maybe a little sleet in the air, mixed with some showers in the afternoon on Sunday into Sunday night. And Monday morning could be downright freezing with temperatures heading down toward that freezing point. Monday a chilly day, then a warming trend though, so it won't last too long. We'll be back to 70 by Wednesday of next week.
And 50 isn't bad for football.
No, and enjoy the game.
I will. Thank you, Dick.
Thanks, Dan.
Well, coming up, Hopkins Airport helps plan a move. We'll have that story and the rest of the day's business news.
But first, we'll look at a man named Gib, who has, will tell us what's coming up later on in sports. Hello, Gib.
Who writes this stuff? Cavs had their first workouts of the season today and tonight, and guard John Morton signed just before the first practice began. Ron Jans will report on 5 high school football games from all over the greater Cleveland area. Braves and Dodgers were tied with 3 games left. We'll have those video highlights and the scores and some whoop-de-doo when we come back in 7 minutes.
I gotta tell you something.
Well, you know, I'd rather you didn't.
I got a crush on you.
When it comes to the question of love,
I'm asking you out with me tonight.
some people won't take
no
for an answer.
She's falling for me. How can I thank her?
I'll handle him.
Al Pacino, Michelle Pfeiffer in a Gary Marshall film.
Oh, I'm okay. Are you okay?
Frankie and Johnny. Rated R. Starts Friday, October 11th at theaters everywhere.
There's no time like the present for Ohio Glass Block to show you how affordable replacing your basement windows can be. Call 265-0700. Ohio Glass Block. We build a better window.
More of nature's best, most flavorful fruit. That's what you'd expect to find in a jar of homemade preserves. And this is the name you'd expect to find on it. Introducing J.M. Smucker's Extra Fruit.
94 ways to love your baby.
Fill it up. Sunoco has the widest range of gasolines around, from economy to 94-octane Ultra. And when your car's your baby, doesn't it deserve the high quality and high detergency you'd expect from Sunoco?
94 ways.
Now through November 15th, participating Sunoco dealers will accept these and other valid gasoline or bank credit cards and give you a $3 bonus to apply for a Sunoco credit card.
There are women who'll say anything to get the kids back from adoption.
On the next Street Justice, a child abuse investigation strikes close to home.
The Turners are hurting my boy. I don't know how I know it, but I do.
That's him again. I come back and finish this.
And a protective mother's taking the law into her own hands.
What she's planning is a crime.
Now she's on the run on the next Street Justice.
Sunday nights at 7 on Channel 43.
Good news tonight for some Cleveland residents who've learned when the ground shakes, it's not an earthquake. It's a jumbo jet arriving at Hopkins Airport. Bob Hetherington reports the city is now planning to end their ordeal.
This teeth-rattling, eardrum-shattering noise has become a way of life for the residents of Springdale Avenue and hundreds of others who live less than a mile from Hopkins International Airport. As airport traffic has risen, so have their tempers.
They had extended the runways, and it's bringing more planes in. And I heard that eventually they're going to bring overseas flights in, too. Sure. So that's going to bring in your bigger planes. So there'll be more noise.
It's an early wake-up call for the residents of Springdale. These jets start arriving at 6 a.m., and they continue to come in every 2 minutes for the entire morning rush hour. Norman Allman's house lies right under the flight path.
You can't stand to be outside whatsoever in the summertime. You can't talk to anybody. You can't talk on a telephone. It's just impossible to carry on a conversation.
But there is relief in sight. Cleveland officials are embarking on a 2-year program to buy up 160 properties and relocate the residents of Springdale and Westport Avenues. The first phase is funded by FAA and airport monies and will cost almost $7 million. But community activists want more.
I'm pleased about the buyouts. I'm just sad to the extent that it doesn't include the rest of the streets right at the present time also.
Residents hope another 450 homes are added to the list. Homeowners don't have to participate, but many think this life of shake, rattle, and roll is for the birds. In Cleveland, Bob Hetherington for the 10 o'clock news.
A slight drop in unemployment figures was not enough to get Wall Street going today. The decrease was not enough to answer any questions about how soon the Fed might relax its credit policy. The Dow lost more than 23 points in a day of moderate trading. 163 million shares were bought and sold. The Dow closed out the week with a net loss of more than 44 points. American Express and RJR Nabisco were the most active big board issues.
The over-the-counter markets were also decidedly unimpressed with the employment figures today. The composite closed the day at 520.40, down just a fraction from yesterday's trading. Volume was in the moderate range with 150 million shares trading hands. Here's a look at how the day shaped up for the 10 largest Cleveland area companies that trade on the NASDAQ market. Across the country, Intel Corporation and Amgen were the most widely traded.
Sports is next on the 10 o'clock news.
Coming up, Gibb has the Browns, the Tribe, and the Cavs, plus high school football. And what would a fall weekend be without a little whoop-de-doo sports review? We'll be right back.
Hey, nice suit. Expensive?
Not at Burlington Coat Factory.
Designer dress. Cost a lot?
Not at Burlington Coat Factory.
Wow, great outfits. Cost your mom plenty?
Not at Burlington Coat Factory.
But why do they call it Burlington Coat Factory?
Because they have more of these than anybody.
Besides, ever try to say Burlington ladies, men's, kids, suits, shirts, sportswear, linens, dresses, furs, slacks, Coat Factory?
Burger King asks a bunch of cowboys.
I could eat this Bullseye barbecue burger till the cows come home.
Get a taste of the Old West with the Bullseye Barbecue Burger from Burger King.
I could cook up something like this. I just don't choose to.
It's 2 flame-broiled burgers on a Western bun with cheese and bacon topped with the big, bold taste of Bullseye barbecue sauce.
Don't you call this no Nouvelle cuisine?
The Bullseye Barbecue Burger from Burger King.
Real cowboys like us know a good sandwich.
How can it be that an automobile, a mere 9 inches larger on the outside, gives you over 2 feet more room on the inside? Maybe it's the new Mac. The 1992 Toyota Camry. We just couldn't leave well enough alone.
Come see the all-new Toyota Camry. Roomier, safer, quieter, and more powerful at your Toyota dealer now.
I was ready for my vacation, but afraid of being locked into inflated rental car rates. Suddenly, everything fell into place.
Help you with that excess baggage.
Thanks, she's not with me.
I mean those inflated prices. Dollar Rent-A-Car is right on the airport, right on the money. Great selection, unlimited mileage. Call 1-800-800-4000.
Well, the Indians, the Yankees, the Big Apple, Yankee Stadium, hot dogs, apple pie. What more could we ask for?
The big egg. They didn't lay one tonight.
Hey.
Hey, well, you know, the Indians will have Carlos Martinez for the season finale in New York Sunday, Jack. American League President Dr. Bobby Brown reduced Martinez's 3-game suspension to 2 games following Carlos' appeal today. He was suspended for charging the mound last month and for bumping an umpire. Sean Hilligus of the Tribe tonight, and Alan Mills of the Yankees were in a scoreless game in the 3rd when Don Mattingly got a hold of one and sent it deep to the right center and into the seats. That was a 2-run jolt, Mattingly's 9th of the season. It was 2-1 until the top half of the 9th inning. There were 2 out. Reliever Steve Farr put one on the inside corner to Jim Thome, and his first Major League home run landed in the upper deck, a 2-run shot, and the Tribe won 3-2. Steve Olin nailed it down in the 9th inning. The Tribe won its final game this season on Channel 43 by a score of 3-2. You'd think they could have done it 4-3. The Cavs held their first practice of this season this morning. There were 18 players at work. John Morton was the last to sign just before the first workout. Morton averaged 5 points a game last year. He or rookie Terrell Brandon will be the Cavs starting guard until Mark Price returns in either December or January. The Cavs' first exhibition game, you believe this, a week from tomorrow? The Browns may have to outrun the New York Jets this Sunday. That's in order to beat them. No team runs as well as the Jets these days, and the Browns' philosophy is to run the ball to set up the pass. Tight end Scott Galbraith was asked if the Browns are progressing on their ground game.
I don't know how we're progressing with that. I feel great about, you know, this is where I feel comfortable running the ball and blocking guys and getting a chance to get after it. And I think when our running game gets going the way it can be, it's going to really open up our passing game. So I think it's going to just end up taking off.
Now let's get to Ron Yance at the high school sports desk, where he has the task of reporting on 5 Scholastic games tonight. Ron.
And Gibber, we've got it all tonight. Big plays, great matchups, an overtime thriller, a battle of unbeatens, and a whole lot more. It's a busy, busy night, so let's go. Game 1, Al Valenzizi, the man, against John Marshall and South High. Marshall with the ball on their own 34. The quarterback, Eric Youngkin, rolling right to pass. Pressure. Youngkin throws, and South's Don Harris steps in front and intercepts. Harris breaks a tackle to 27, runs by a defender at the 15, dives into the end zone for a flyer touchdown. Why, we don't know. It went 37 yards. Conversion failed. South led 6-0. Now, this is the kickoff following the touchdown, and I guess John Marshall figured, well, one big play deserved another, because that's what's coming up. Kyle Green fumbles the ball to 10, picks it up at the 8, takes off at the far sideline, and it's bye-bye time. Now give credit to Marshall's senior linebacker Joey Sheada, because it was a nice block that broke Green free for a 92-yard kickoff return touchdown. John Marshall was good on their extra point, and the Lawyers led 7-6. More Lawyers. 4th down at 26 from the South 35. Youngkin's lob is perfect. The All-American track star Jonathan Burrell runs under it, and what do you know? John Marshall had a quick 6 and a 14-6 lead. Marshall's Kyle Green returned a punt for 70 yards in the second half for a touchdown. Green had over 200 yards in returns for the day. This is Kyle Green here, and Marshall beat South this afternoon 20 20-12 is the final. Game 2, and here she is, folks, our cheerleader of the night, Dana from Westlake. Her Demons against Rocky River. Everyone say hi to Dana. Hi, Dana. All right, these are the Pirates. 1st and 10 from the 26. Todd Bird to pass. Looks right, looks deep. There it goes, and Scott Bird is under it. Bird to Bird, good for 40 yards. The Pirates had the ball on the Westlake 24. 7 plays, 23 yards later. 1st and goal from the 1. Jason Hoff up the gut. It's good for a yard, and that was good for a score. 9 plays, 74-yard drive. No extra point. River led 6-0. River led 12-zip at half. Wade Westerfield led the Pirates with 125 yards rushing. This is Westerfield, and Rocky River shuts out Westlake tonight. 19-0 final. Game 3, the Bay Rockets and Olmsted Falls battle of unbeatens in the Southwestern Conference. 4th quarter action. 0-0 tie. Bay with 2nd and inches from the Falls 36. Rolling right is Bay's Sean Klopfer, and a wide open to the 15 is Matt Zurich. Zurich won't be caught. Bay had a touchdown, add the extra point. Rockets led 7-0 a minute 46 to play. Over to Olmsted Falls. 17 seconds left after 2 huge 4th down conversions. The Bulldogs went to Sean Harden, and Harden put it in. Falls went 52 yards, a minute 23, and tied everything 7-7. 4 seconds left in regulation. Tie game. Bay's Sean Reale lining up for a 52-yard field goal. Reale with a chance to win it for the Rockets. 52 yards, and it's just short. It missed by a yard. Still 7-7, and we go to overtime. This is Olmsted Falls. 2nd play in the OT from the 1. Justin Beasley, a big hole. Touchdown Bulldogs. However, the extra point was missed. Falls led 13-7, but Bay would get their shot, and there's the missed extra point. Bay's 4th play of their possession. From the 2-yard line, David Berry up the middle, and Bay had tied everything at 13-13.
Telling nude stains. First smile, then